Damn, this thing tells us likes, down likes. Okay. Go to the, jump over to the. What? Do you see it?
The link?
Yeah.
Where is it?
That's what I'm asking. Do you see it? Jump on our channel.
Oh, how do I get there?
Just walk in the channel. YouTube. Live now.
Well, apparently Jason Derulo might murder you that next to you. Nothing you won't do. So, as someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, or spend the night with. Power Hits 97.5, Major Lazer, Mo and DJ Snake. Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Check, check, check.
Okay, we're good.
Can you turn up my headphones at all over there?
Down,
Or is it all on this knob?
down. How's that?
That's better. Good shit.
Okay. Ready to rock.
This fucking thing.
I might even just pull Pagels down.
Yeah, might as well.
Even when he's talking. He's fine, any idea.
Just mute him.
Yeah. I hope he hears this when he goes back and watches it.
Fuck you, Pagels.
You suck. Hurry up, dude. Hurry
Pagels.
up.
Holding up the whole operation here.
Hey, thank you for watching. This is Wildcat Chat's live edition. We're going to come to you on the podcast here soon.
We're just waiting on Pagels.
We're probably going to edit this out, but it's always fun to watch because we don't think people are watching. Actually, let me look.
I'm here. Hey, there are 2 watching now. One of them is me.
The other one is me.
Ah, shit. Well, there we go.
That's fun, though. That's exciting. Okay. This is episode 10.
You hearing me good?
Yeah. This is 10.
My,
I've got this control room. Are you good on?
Alright.
Are you good on social media?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You want Snapchat? I'm fine with starting at 10. We got 9 minutes. You have Snapchat?
I don't.
You have Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, let's get you Snapchat.
Message that to me somehow.
What's what do you need? Username, password?
Yeah, just email it to me.
I'm gonna text you.
Which phone?
What do you want?
My work number.
One inning away for the Pirates.
What's the score?
4-0 still.
Again, man. Again.
This is the worst.
Disregard any capital letters.
Let's lead with that.
Okay.
Talk about the playoffs.
Disregard any capital letters?
What?
Let's lead with disregard
Yeah.
any capital
Hey.
letters.
Everybody listening to Wildcat Chats, just disregard all caps.
If you've ever done anything in your life that involves capital letters, disregard.
Reevaluate.
Reevaluate your life.
I'm telling you right now,
For those of you watching,
don't
us right
capitalize
now,
the first letter. Don't capitalize proper nouns. Don't capitalize shit.
Alright, let's get
This is
into it.
Wildcat Chats.
Okay.
You got a sheet for me?
Are you shared on the folder?
Do you want the notes?
Yeah, probably.
You want them printed off?
It doesn't need to be.
Yay or nay?
Do you have a copy or not?
I can print one.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm sure it on the file. I'll open it.
I'm gonna use hard copy. Are we ready?
Sure.
Twitter, Facebook.
We're good, we're good.
Who's getting blown up?
What?
Stan.
Yes, sir.
Not that popular.
Is that your girl? Is that your girl?
Yeah, it was.
All right.
Alright, thoughts on playoffs. Let's do this. We're going to do this before K-State Sports.
We're gonna we're gonna do that on the intro.
Alright.
Just like a few minutes of it.
I'm gonna run it through the intro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everyone who's our sponsor, and then we'll talk playoffs, and then we'll just get into the breakdown.
That'll be like my introduction.
Okay.
Just have me introduce. I'll just say I'm fucking depressed.
Okay. And I'm gonna say Mike Stanton.
Mike, yeah.
Mike Stanton.
Drop
Michael
Money Mike.
Bagels. Money Mike.
I like
Money
Money Mike. That was big on the first couple.
Money Mike Stanton.
I wouldn't mind that one sticking. I like it.
I'm gonna hit
It's stuck in
intro.
other circles.
I'm gonna hit intro. Hello. Follow us.
Hey, what's up? Hello.
Email. We've got Money Mike, Michael, and then we'll get into sponsor, and then we'll go breakdown. All right. Check. Good to go.
Check.
Hello. All right.
Hello.
This is October 7th, 9:55. We're late. Wildcat Chats, episode 10 officially. From here on out, I don't care how many we've done, this is 10.
Episode X.
We're live, YouTube, social media accounts. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Emon Nation! Welcome. This is Wildcat Chats. I am your host, Austin Nichols. You can follow us on Twitter, Wildcat_chats, Facebook, YouTube. Check out our channel. We're live streaming right now. Hello to everyone out there. Thank you for watching. Follow us online, wildcatchats.com. If you're not watching right now, you're not listening to iTunes tomorrow, subscribe to the podcast. You can listen tomorrow, or you can just jump on wildcatchats.com. You get the video, you get the podcast, you get the blogs, you get a little bit of everything, and even who we are. So don't only follow the podcast, learn about who we are. I'm your host, Austin Nichols, at Nichols and Dimes 88 on Twitter. I've also got Money Mike Stanton in the house. Money Mike, how you doing?
You know, I'm a little bummed out right now.
Why is that?
I'm a big Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Oh, here we
and,
go.
You know, it's October, and being a Pirates fan for 22 years, it hasn't been easy. This was a good year for most of the regular season, and then for the second year in a row, we just got screwed in the wild card.
Until the end, you all started crying like little babies trying to start fights.
No comment. No comment.
I saw that.
You know what? You're
Shots fired.
You better
Shots
be careful.
fired.
I'm gonna come over to the other side of the mic and start a fight right here.
I'm wearing. Oh, here we go. I'm wearing KC tonight. For those of you watching, big time Cards fan though. Looking forward to knocking off the Cubbies in the playoffs. I'm Austin Nichols. You're listening to Wildcat Chats. Subscribe to us on iTunes. The best thing you can do for us, other than listening and watching, is rate us on iTunes. Let us know what you think. Give us a little 5 stars. We're trying to hit the top charts, maybe, sometime in this lifetime. That's the way we have to do it. We've got
up and up. Always moving up.
Always. We got Money Mike helping us out this week, and our producer, Michael Pagels, a.k.a. Huge Beard. Look at the About Us, just Huge Beard. That's really all we have. He's going to help us out on our social media. Make sure you're staying up to date with what we're talking about. Hit us up in the chat room on YouTube. That's the best way to get on. Call in, 866-761-1035. We don't have to set up, but we can if you want to take time to call in. We like that kind of shit. We've got a lot in store for you today. This is Wildcat Chats. I'm your host, Austin Nichols. We're going to be talking a little bit about K-State, Oklahoma State. We've got a lot to talk about. People getting arrested,
so much.
Referees messing up, Heisman contenders, in my book at least. What the hell's going on at quarterback? We're going to break down the K-State TCU game preview, see what's going on around in the Big 12, because we just started the gauntlet of now 5 now, but it was a 6-game gauntlet going on in the Big 12. Injury updates, we got a lot in store for you. First off, though, we would not be able to provide this podcast for you if it wasn't for some help from one of our, honestly, favorite sponsors. Today's podcast is brought to you by, very excited to announce this, Audible.com. That's Audible.com. Wildcat Chats, October, what do we say, the 7th is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download thanks to Wildcat Chats and a 30-day free trial. All you have to do is log on audibletrial.com/wildcatchats. You can get a free trial. Over 180,000 titles to choose from. You can use your iPhone, Android, Kindle, MP3 player. Do people still have MP3 players? Apparently, you can use it. Download audiobooks.
My mom still
like
does,
traveling,
and she listens to audiobooks. So.
Our podcast is usually only, about an hour long?
Yeah.
So when that's over on your long drive, download Audible.
Right,
And
regenerate some brain cells that you lose during our show.
Thanks to Wildcat Chats, you can get free download at audibletrial.com/wildcatchats.
Hey, we'll tweet that link out. You want to get that?
We'll tweet it out.
We'll tweet that.
Check it out. All right, let's get right into it because we're going to talk a lot about K-State, Oklahoma State. We know we don't like to dwell on the past, but last Saturday, K-State losers in this matchup, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I love the Cats, man, but damn it, did we lose 34-36 on the road to Oklahoma State. Now, we've got a lot to get through in this segment, Oklahoma State, K-State. I'm going to start, and I hate to say it, I'm with everyone else who's like, oh, it doesn't come down to one play in however long of a football game. I hate to say it's why we lost, but we did lose by 2 points. And in this league, field goals are worth 3. We were all over Cantelli early in the year, helping us out.
We gotta rename this the Cantelli Show. We talk about him every week.
That's why we're getting him out of the way here at the beginning. But he did miss that field goal. We did not have McCrane last week. We're big on Cantelli. He comes out and misses a very pivotal field goal. Obviously, you can't say that's why they lost.
See, I don't know. I would disagree with you on that. That field goal, wasn't that a first half field goal that he missed? It was earlier on in the game.
It doesn't matter what time in the game it was 3 points that were left on the board.
Okay, well then in that case you can talk all about failed third down conversions. You can talk about missed throws. You can talk about a whole number of single plays that could have changed the outcome of the game if they had gone a little differently. Pinning the blame just on Cantelli is very short-sighted, if you ask me.
And to be honest with you, I wanted to start off with Cantelli, get him out of the way, but I'm not going to pin the entire blame on just him. We're talking absolutely horrific play calling in the second half on the offensive side of the ball. Granted, Cook went down, Hubner came back in. We didn't really know what the hell was going on.
People were dropping like flies.
And all of a sudden, we couldn't get a stop on third down on the defensive side of the ball. Like what? Like it's literally two different teams in the first half compared to the second half, and that's why a 49-game win streak with the Cats leading at halftime gets snapped.
You know, the thing is, though, going down to Stillwater, playing on the road, we were talking last week, if you'd have told one of us last week that this would have been a 36-34 loss for K-State in a game that they controlled pretty much the entire time that we were up, I mean, that's...
I did, however, predict, I said 24 points, and this is just going off of some BS sign around town and predicted the game. The Cats were going to win 24-14. I did say 24 was not going to be enough to win, and it wasn't in a 36-34 win by Oklahoma State. So with the Cantelli field goal aside, okay, we're not going to put the blame on that, though the 3 points would have helped to win the game. I think we all can agree on that. What we really have to look at here is the Big 12 refereeing. And I remember this play very specifically and thinking to myself,
why isn't somebody doing something?
That wasn't a first down. It seemed like he had longer to go. And later in the week, someone showed me a video. I think it was my brother showed me a video of the play, and I'm like, oh, clearly though he's past the first down marker. I was like, someone just got this wrong. They did the yellow line incorrectly, which happens on TV from time to time.
Right.
He caught the ball and was past the first down marker. It wasn't until I took another step back and I said, wait a second, they forgot to move the first down marker. And this isn't the first time Big 12's had an incident with officiating.
Far from it.
What was it, just last week? What happened, Oklahoma State, Texas? Did you see that?
I didn't. The thing I remember from that Oklahoma State-Texas game was the shank punt that lost it. But I was watching Texas A&M and TCU, or Texas Tech and TCU, when that was going on.
All I know is I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of the Big 12 apologizing. Because what do you do? What do? You replay it?
I mean, that's another thing though. That's a hard error to correct. I mean,
you can't. You
can't
correct
it.
And play out.
What are you supposed to do? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we lost that game, and though that call might have had a pretty big impact on that, it wasn't really, like, people didn't really realize what had happened until after the game.
Right.
So what do you do at that point? Like, do you fine the Big 12 ref or whatever? I mean, because that doesn't help anybody. It's as meaningless as that $5,000 fine for the Jayhawk incident. Like,
at some point,
it's just
though,
a drop in the bucket.
At some point, do you reevaluate the processes? Like, how do we keep it? Because this is... Last week wasn't the first time. This week wasn't the first time.
No,
it's happened last year.
Yeah, the Big 12 on Sunday, according to ESPN, acknowledged an officiating mistake that incorrectly awarded Oklahoma State a first down. Same exact thing. It said officials involved would be disciplined, but did not,
But weren't.
You know,
Or if they were,
I'm sure they got some kind of slap on the wrist. They got a lecture or something like that. But, I mean, what do you think? Would anybody be helped if this ref got fired? Because they're just going to bring in another ref that's probably going to be just roughly the same qualifications.
Are we seeing this in other leagues? I can't remember the last time I was watching a Ohio State Indiana game, which was a miserable game to watch this weekend, by the way. I don't see any blown calls. Maybe it's because the Big 12 plays at such a fast pace.
That could be it. But again, we don't watch other leagues like we do the Big 12, and.
True.
I would venture the guess that, yeah, this stuff does happen in other leagues. Incidents like this that are very detrimental to the outcome of the game don't happen all that often. But, most everyday officiating errors, like a bad spot or a missed pass interference call or whatever, isn't going to make national headlines.
Right. For those of you who aren't familiar, what we're talking about is K-State playing Oklahoma State last weekend. The Big 12 recognized and apologized for a blown first down call on an Oklahoma State 3rd and 23. And we'll have to see, maybe we can get a video out there of the play that happened on our social media accounts. But basically, K-State was able to pin Oklahoma State back deep. We were talking 3rd and 23. I'm pretty sure on the Oklahoma State side of the ball, I think. They might have been close to midfield. We'll have to double check on that. And so they threw what I believe it was about a 17-yard pass.
Yeah, it
for
should have been 4th down and 4. But instead it was
completion.
1st down and 10
Caught the ball, ran out of bounds, and from my perspective, again, if you heard what I said just a few minutes ago, is that he was past the 1st down marker. That is correct. What isn't correct, though, is that 1st down marker was, what did you say, 4 yards short of the 1st down. And at the time, you don't think of anything. We moved on to the next play. I said, shit, we should have stopped him there. It seemed like we did, but according to the referees, we did it.
And the thing is,
and that's a pivotal point in the game.
It was, and obviously a 4th and 4 is a lot different than a 1st and 10. But right after that, Morgan Burns got lit up 3 times in a row, and a touchdown was scored. So at the end of the day,
that's a great point. We didn't even put Morgan.
The difference was made on the field.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, Oklahoma State outplayed us when it mattered, whether missed field goals or bad calls, whatever. The blame is squarely on K-State.
We didn't put Morgan Burns in our show notes today, but dear God, he got torn up. And I'm a big Morgan Burns fan. Like, the dude can ball on special teams. Was that week 1? He took that 100-yard kick back for a touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he got lit up. They just ate him up.
Well, I mean, he had a mismatch going in. What was that dude's name? He was a heck of a lot taller than him.
Oh, I can't remember. He balled till he falled, I guess.
Right.
So.
It was 3 plays in a row. That guy had his number, and that controversial call at the end of the day, it was meaningless because regardless of what that situation was, whether it was 4th and 4 or 1st and 10, my guess is that guy still would have lit Morgan Burns up and made those plays in that situation.
You're probably right. It's just a tough loss, man.
It's a tough one to swallow.
Die-hard Cats fan, and granted, I apologize. The Cats played a lot better than I anticipated going into it, and that makes me happy. And we were very high.
And there were
on
a lot of
those
positives to take out of that game.
There was. It looked a hell of a lot better than I anticipated. A big reason, and we'll get to this more in just a second. Cody Cook,
new Heisman frontrunner.
# Cook for Heisman. All right, let's just go ahead. That's a perfect segue into, let's get into the quarterback situation. And before we get into Cook too much, let's just look at K-State's quarterback situation over the first 4 games of the season. Jesse Ertz named the starter going into game 1. Very first play, hurts his knee, out.
Done.
Alex Delton, the freshman out of Hayes, out. Indefinitely knee.
Same with Jonathan Banks.
He was
what, week 3?
I don't know. They're saying he's sick.
That's strange.
Let me double check my injury report. Hold on. Jonathan Banks, illness, out indefinitely. That's the injury report.
He can't get along with Snyder.
What is that?
That's an illness in Manhattan.
Yeah,
that is true.
That's true.
Where is
that's
that
all
coming
speculation,
from?
but
Huebner head injury appears to be okay after a few plays off. Cook shoulder. Now some people are saying broken collarbone. I'm saying bullshit. There's reports out.
Because he's probable, isn't he?
He's probable. Here, let me check the injury report again. Cody Cook, shoulder injured, questionable versus TCU, which is fair because, no one's going to say if he's going to play or not. But I saw reports that Snyder was saying early on in the week, because obviously the big question is who's going to play quarterback.
Right, of course,
he's saying Cody Cook is going to play wide receiver and quarterback.
So we've got another platoon system is what we can look forward to basically in the near future. And maybe not this week, but in weeks down the road.
Well, and here, screw the platoon system, and this is something I really want to talk about, is who should be that quarterback starting on the first play against TCU. Now, before we jump into that, let's talk about Cody Cook's performance on the field against Oklahoma State. The dude went 10 for 16, 122 yards passing and 87 yards rushing. He didn't even play the whole game. I know a lot of you know, and I myself, when I first saw these numbers, like, okay, decent.
But
if you watch,
the look of it, yeah,
you watch that game, it was a completely different offense. They were gelling, they were moving the ball, they were having success on the offensive side of the ball. Exactly what I think you were about to say there, Money Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it was like nothing we've seen this year as far as consistency on offense, moving the chains, scoring points. I mean, we scored more in this game than, I believe, the Louisiana Tech
We
game.
had 34 points. 34 points.
And most of those were in the first half.
Exactly. That, and again, going back to the tales of the two halves, two completely different ball games. The minute Cook went down with that shoulder injury, the air was out of the ball at that point.
There was a big question mark when Huebner went off the field, when he went down with that concussion-looking injury when he got that hit to the head. He was walking off, and you could tell that, I mean, just where I was watching my living room with a bunch of K-State fans, everybody was silent. Nobody, because we've been seeing on Twitter, like, we don't have a backup quarterback. It's going to be Cody Cook.
Right.
Big question mark. This guy's a wide receiver. What is this going to look like? And he comes out, connects on the first play, I think. He had a big run and then a pass. And that is when and I'm going to take credit for this, started the hashtag Cook for Heisman. And
Stan did start that. Wildcat Chats picked it up shortly. I forgot to mention, Cook had 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. The dude just moved the ball.
He made plays, and you can tell, like, Cook is a JUCO quarterback. He played quarterback, my guess is in high school, too, in JUCO for sure.
He honestly has more quarterback experience than Joe Huebner.
He did, yeah, and the thing is, he was moved to wide receiver when he got to K-State. You could tell, when you're a quarterback, and obviously I was never a college recruited quarterback, but my guess is
really?
Yeah, no kidding. But my guess is when you get to a big program like K-State and they tell you, you know what, we're going to take you out of the position that you're used to playing. We're going to move you somewhere else because we think that you're probably better off to the team there. You're telling them we don't think you're good enough to play quarterback. And basically, my guess is for a guy like Cody Cook, a competitive dude, that's not something he took lightly. And you could tell that when his shot came, which most of the time that shot doesn't come, because when you've got 5 or 4 scholarship quarterbacks go down, or on the depth chart ahead of you, you're probably not going to play quarterback.
You gotta look this up. When's the last time something like this happened?
I don't even know if you can
like
look that up.
A fifth string quarterback
at
what do you want college
what do you
comes in and kills it? That's insane.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Who?
That's
Sean
a good
Snyder?
question, yeah.
This is Wildcat Chats. I am your host, Austin Nichols. Follow us. We're live on YouTube right now. Subscribe to iTunes. Check us out. I'm in studio with Money Mike, Stan, my co-host, and we've got Michael Pagels, the producer, aka Huge Beard, if you're watching. So the next question is, what does this mean for Huebner? What does this mean for the Wildcats starting QB position? Before we get into start speculating on what Snyder's going to do, let's first talk about Money Mike. Do you start Huebner or do you start Cody Cook? Assuming, I don't know if you guys saw in the Oklahoma State game, Cook fell on his shoulder. It was bruised bad. It looked ugly.
It did.
Assuming he's good to go, ready to play, who do you start at quarterback?
Assuming he's healthy and has had a week of practice, Cody Cook, 100%. You can't not. I mean, he came out there and he made a statement. And, you know, that's something that we haven't seen yet from this K-State team. We've had Huebner under center. He's been able to hand the ball off, make a few plays, but he hasn't come out and played with the intensity and the efficiency that Cook showed. He was moving the ball. I mean, he made plays, and that's a big deal, especially in our toughest game thus far this season. Oklahoma State is on a whole other level than Louisiana Tech, South Dakota State. Who the heck was the other team we played? I don't even remember.
UTSA.
UTSA, yeah. On a whole different level than any of those teams. And he made the offense look like an entirely different unit. So, and that was on just his knowledge of the offense as a wide receiver and maybe a few reps once they realized he was probably going to be the backup quarterback. They probably got him in and ran a few plays. But imagine practicing with the starters. He's going to look like a completely different guy after that. And with that confidence, that attitude of, wow, this is my shot, finally getting the chance that I wanted all along, I don't see, I mean, how can you lose with him?
We have
I
enough.
got a question when you got a chance. I got a question. So, is this a injury problem? Is this a depth problem? Or is this a coaching problem?
No,
You have 4 quarterbacks ahead of
I think
Cook, and you're
Who may
saying
be the
it
best
looks like-
quarterback on the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like he's from the
That's-
short time he
But
was
the thing
in.
is,
That's tough to
when
say.
Cook came into the program, there was a lot more quarterback depth.
Sure.
What-
Colin
I mean-
Klein was the starting quarterback when Cook came into the program, right?
So
Yeah.
Klein was a starter. I mean,
And that's tough to say. We don't know what Jesse Ertz could be.
Right.
We don't know what Alex Delton could be.
Exactly.
I don't even know.
Jonathan Banks,
I don't
yeah.
even know what's going on with Jonathan Banks.
Honestly,
We just
Huebner either.
sit
I mean,
over
Waters and Sams were both in the program when Cook got here. I mean,
Huebner's had his chance.
I agree.
It's time to move on. In my opinion, especially after what we saw out of Cody Cook, it's time. And this is hilarious to say because someone mentioned to me after one of our previous podcasts is someone being on the Hughes wagon.
We've been on like so many
we're off
quarterback
the
bandwagons.
wagon.
I think it's safe to
We've
say
been
we're
on
off.
we've been on the Hughes wagon. We've been on the Cantelli wagon.
We were on the Ertz wagon. Maybe it's all wishful thinking. Maybe
We are-
it is. But
yeah.
you know what? I think Cook has the most upside out of any of these guys.
Let's clear the air. We're off those wagons. We are now on hashtag Cook for Heisman. And hashtag Cook for starting QB if that doesn't happen. So, okay, so we talked about we think he should play. What do you think Snyder's going to do? I've got a feeling Huebner's going to be the quarterback on the very first play against TCU on Saturday night at, what do we got, Pagel? 6 o'clock, 6:30 at home, Bill Snyder Family Stadium.
Snyder's going to play it safe. We all know this. I mean, even with Daniel Sams and Jake Waters a couple of years ago, there were clear indicators that Waters was the guy as far as throwing the ball. Sams could do a little more with his legs, but Snyder didn't make a decision until he absolutely had to.
And let's face it, Sam's was a lot more fun to watch.
Sam's
was last.
so
He
much fun to
made
watch.
things happen. It was a blast.
I was actually more upset that they went with Waters. Like, I understand Waters gave us a better shot of winning, and we did win with him. Sam's was just so much fun to watch play football. And that might have been because he wasn't out there every play, but the dude went out there and made plays.
Yeah, and you could tell the thing with Sams is when he got on the field, you could watch and look at the offense pick up the pace a little bit, and you could see that energy building. And that's what Cook
The
brought.
same thing we saw with Cook.
Exactly. And so
he was excited. People were excited to play with him. He was making plays. Not only that,
Cook was spreading the ball around like Huebner
twice-
hasn't been able to.
Exactly. Twice, Cook set K-State's high mark for rushing yardage on a single play twice in the same game. And here's the thing, he made 5-yard passes. If I have to watch Huebner throw the ball straight into the ground on a flat route, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah.
I can make that throw. And if all of you that are watching are gonna be listening to us on iTunes and say that's bullshit, you can't. Let's go out to the field.
Let's run some routes.
This arm is strong. Been working out.
Been
a little
limbering
bit.
it up.
Yeah, I feel strong.
I'm sensing a field trip.
I throw that flat route every time. Even a little curl, 5-yard curl. I got it.
Okay, can you run between the tackles though?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you hit that delay? Can you wait long enough and then run into a pile of defenders?
Absolutely.
Think you can handle that? Okay.
Yeah. I could also play on the offensive line because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut the shit out of every defender that lines up. I'm just
Okay,
gonna cut
Austin,
him.
you're not getting a tryout.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
you're
cut
not
him.
even like in the running anymore. Like the possible running.
No.
that has
It's
been a fun
football,
conversation.
dude.
Though.
I'll go 15 seconds. I'll give you my heart out. Let me rest for 30. That's not a problem.
I mean,
Not a
that has
problem.
been a fun conversation. How many Facebook statuses have you been like, hey, I think I'm still eligible. I could probably throw the football. I've seen
Right.
all over the
There are
place.
a lot of people
it's
that are
still funny.
interested.
It's making me laugh.
There are plenty of people that are interested in this
1,
K-State
2,
quarterback
3,
job.
4, 5. I'll be QB number 6. I got eligibility, Snyder. I graduated, but I got eligibility. As long as we don't have practice on Wednesday nights because we got to run this podcast. This is Wildcat Chats. WildcatChats.com. Subscribe on iTunes. Watch us live on YouTube. You got your host, Austin Nichols, Money Mike on the mic, and our producer, Michael Pagels, running all the social media, helping us out where we don't know what the hell we're talking about, which is most of the time. But tonight we've prepared a little bit.
Speak for yourself.
Two more things. Two more things on the agenda. First, let's kind of jump back. We mentioned it earlier. This is probably the biggest news, honestly, coming out of the game, is Bill Snyder's streak of 49 games in a row won by the Wildcats after leading at halftime has been snapped thanks to the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And a big reason, like I mentioned earlier, piss poor offensive play calling. Literally the opposite of what you want to do. You see teams do this every week in the NFL and college football. They get a lead at halftime and they go into ultra-conservative mode.
They were playing not to lose. And
exactly. And that is the recipe
like that,
for losing.
In that game in Stillwater, we had nothing to lose. We were expected to go in there, put up a somewhat of a fight maybe, but lose by double digits if you ask most people. And you know what? They came out and we had a lead at halftime. And then we got scared, and you could tell that we weren't taking the shots we were. We were just handing the ball off. The offense didn't possess the ball for anywhere near as much time in the second half.
We couldn't get any kind of drive going, especially when Cook went down and we had to bring Huber back in.
Oh yeah, it was like watching.
It's weird, right? Like we were clicking, he went out, and all of a sudden it was like, oh nothing. Shit! Like what happened? Like we missed the gear. All of a sudden the gears aren't in line and just was not rolling.
Right.
The offense isn't completely to blame for it. Defense, it's not that they didn't show up in the second half, but all of a sudden we had trouble stopping people on third down. They were passing the ball a lot. They were spreading us out, and that started to play a factor in getting stops. Again, they want to be on third down. The other big news coming out of Oklahoma State, we're going to touch on this before we wrap up our game breakdown as Wildcat Chats. Check us out at wildcatchats.com. Craig Moore. And I'm actually not necessarily looking forward to this. It's just a good topic of conversation because I feel like there's been a lot of different stories out there. And hopefully we can kind of set it straight for what happened with this kid. So he got back after the game on Saturday. Was driving around town early Sunday morning and was pulled over by Riley County Police on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Now,
that's not quite it. The police responded to a single vehicle collision.
Collision, okay, yes.
They responded to a wreck where he was driving a 2014 Ford F-150. And it left the roadway and collided with a light pole and as the report says, a privately owned stairwell.
What?
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's. I thought we said in the story straight. He hit a light pole by himself in the truck.
He crashed. Yeah.
Just him. Yeah. And it say he was arrested and he was found to be in possession of several pills.
Several
later identified as depressants.
Several depressant pills were found in his possession. Basically, and we're speculating, this dude's rolling around in a car, whacked out on Xanax, passing out, running into light poles.
You know, if he was drinking after that game, I can't really blame him for that. But getting behind the wheel, come on.
And what do you?
What do you have? Like what?
To me, it sounds like he's not necessarily slanging drugs. Again, we're all speculating. We don't know. What are you doing rolling around with several? What is several depressant pills?
Yeah, and let's not hype up. This is the police department's lingo, so it's hard to really have a good picture of what happened. Regardless, whatever happened, he went and drank after the game, and then bad decisions were made. Right?
Right.
He's lucky. He's very lucky that nothing more serious happened. No one else was hurt. He wasn't seriously hurt. No one else, thank God, was seriously hurt. I mean,
all you can hope from this is that he learns from this and he takes this as a wake-up call rather. And I don't know what Snyder will do. It seems to me like this could be grounds for dismissal from the team. Who knows?
It should at least be grounds for dismissal.
It's certainly what
he needs to do.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens as far as the punishment. But
Craig Moore is listed out indefinitely.
Of course,
he has not been dismissed yet from the team, but obviously will not be playing against TCU, and for the time being, he will not be playing football for Kansas State University. But he has not been dismissed.
See, that's a tough situation, and people screw up, especially college kids. I mean,
this is and don't get me wrong. I kind of came at this guy, but I am all for second chances. Like this dude's what 20 years
19,
old.
probably
Yeah.
19 or 20, and that
Yeah.
that's probably like the golden age of making dumb mistakes. I mean, everybody does stupid stuff.
Man, you know, hell.
But the thing is, this kid's under a
I'm
limelight.
23. I still do stupid shit.
Oh, of course, we all do. And he's in a unique situation because he's an athlete. He's got a lot of attention on him. You know, if this was just another kid from the dorms that got pulled over doing something stupid,
That's true.
we definitely wouldn't even be talking about it, and probably
It
nobody
wouldn't
around
make
campus
the
would.
papers. It would be in the blotter. And
Right, and that'd be it. Nobody would notice. But
Hopefully that happens for me. Not that
Nope,
I end up
not
there, but if it
gonna
ever does.
happen.
jeez, Wildcat Chats
Don't pay
does not
attention.
condone driving under the
No.
influence.
Or-
Legal disclaimer
or
here.
driving
Hey,
with
a
several
little
preferences.
switch off to the same topic, a little change. You know, this seems to have been, if you will, a trend at K-State sports. K-State athletics, our whole basketball team last year was a wreck.
Well, none of them
we
got
had
in trouble with the law, but
No,
They just
dismissal
failed
for
drug
partying, dismissal for drug tests.
they were just
dismissal
a
for
cause like
drinking.
every time.
I mean,
Well,
but it should be, if you're getting on scholarships for a K-State athletic program, if you get caught with drugs or, drinking under the influence,
Getting caught-
underage too.
Look, it's really
what are you
easy
gonna
to
do?
not get caught
Getting
with
caught-
drugs. To be honest, like it. Not that I'm condoning possessing drugs,
No.
of course, but like if you do make those decisions, especially if you're on a scholarship, you're an athlete, you know that if anybody catches you, you're not getting away with it. Like,
Yeah.
But that's not even.
why
if
shoot
you're
it in your
getting-
vehicle? Like, why drive with it? Like, there. I mean, it's really easy.
If you're getting
to not
caught,
get caught.
if you're getting, first off, if you're getting caught by the police, you should be in trouble.
Yeah.
By the team. I think
Period.
failing a drug test for marijuana is a completely different story. Now, driving around drunk or whatever, getting pulled over by the police, and having prescription pills on you, that's crossing
And,
the line.
this isn't even the issue. The issue is the upper management. This is the administration. This continues to be a trend. This continues to be happening, and we
I
see.
don't know.
I don't know.
We have Bill Snyder who won't tell us what the repercussions are. We have. I mean, come on. The last year's basketball team was a
Yeah.
joke.
Well,
How many
I
times-
think
nothing
that's-
happens. They never revel what is going to happen. And
It's also an
it's
administration-
an embarrassment.
it's
It's
also-
an embarrassment to the college.
it's
How much
also-
money do we spend on these stadiums and these buildings, and then
Right.
but they get free reign to get in trouble, and then they're not going to lose. Their
It's also an
scholarship.
administration that's going to jump out ahead of this marching band incident, sell out the frickin' band director.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
hey, we have our asses covered. If you guys want to go after the band, go after them. In my mind,
Well-
that's how it. And I think that's all the administration cares about is let's cover our asses. We'll help out these young kids later.
I've got a completely different take on that than you guys. Shifting the blame from this kid, this individual,
I'm
to
not.
the
I'm not. I'm
administration.
totally not shifting the blame from this. That was
Yeah,
a
I know,
mistake he
I
made.
know.
Absolutely. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. But Bill Snyder continues to not say what the repercussions are going to be. They keep doing things behind closed doors. We never know. How many times last year did Weber say, "Hey, we're going to take care of this," and then this, eventually at the end of the season, people get let
Right,
off.
but I mean, at the same time, what do you, as a coach, as somebody that's a leader in a program, have to gain by everybody like discussing your business? It's kind of, I mean,
You're a student at the
Obviously-
college paying for these kids' scholarships. What do you have to gain by not understanding?
I
how
would
much money
question
things
I would
worth?
question whether students pay those scholarships.
Right,
It's going to be
that's fair.
athletic department budget. So, really, other than going to the same school as these kids, I don't really have a stake in it.
No, but they represent you nationally.
They do, but I mean, there are plenty. I mean, at the same time, there are a lot of regular students that are doing the same things
Absolutely.
in greater numbers.
Absolutely.
Let's
But
ask
you
this
can make that
question.
argument.
Let's ask this question: do you kick Cray more off the team?
I say yeah.
I would say no. I say, okay, so there's a legal system for a reason. So he's dealing with the police. He's going to have criminal charges. So let him deal with those. Let the legal system do its job, take care of business. Let him face the music that he has put himself in the situation
So he
to face
keeps his
there.
scholarship?
I
He
would
stays
say,
on the team
okay,
and keeps the scholarship. That's what I'm saying.
not necessarily. They could keep him on. They could
They can keep him
They can
on
keep
and
him on and
revoke
pull
his
a
scholarship. They
So
could.
that's an option that I'd be looking into, but I think kicking him off the team is premature because at that point,
It's
if you're
one
looking at,
mistake.
if
I
you're
get
looking at
that.
this
It's
one
one
kid
mistake.
too,
It's one
if you're looking at
mistake.
this one kid too, like, are you doing more harm by throwing them out in the cold and saying, you know what, you screwed up, but so you're not good enough for us anymore?
College, yeah.
Like, go do something else. Like,
Sure,
I
sure.
mean, at this point, I think you can do more good.
I get that.
Yeah, you can do more good by being like, okay, look, you screwed up. Deal with the legal repercussions that you put yourself in a situation to face. You don't have a scholarship for now, but you might be able to earn it back if you mind your P's and Q's. And that way, he's got some motivation to turn the shit around and learn from this and grow.
And I'm with Money Mike on this one. To me, it's a 1, 2, 3 strike, you're out. Maybe it's not even
I would
three.
say
Maybe
I would
it's
say
2
2 strikes for sure. If
And
he
I
does
don't-
this
and
again, then he's gone.
I don't know this guy's record, but I'll
You know,
give
but
him.
the next time, if he does this the next time, and I'm not saying he will, the next time could be a lot more serious. And I'm not saying you
I'll
should
give him
the
the
guy no
benefit of
chance.
the doubt here.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should give him a chance. You know, but that's why I'd like to. I view more of the administration to be lacking.
Look at
than
this. As
individually.
a football coach, you can't afford to lose this guy. Like, that's a number off. Look at how many quarterbacks were down. Like,
Fair.
you can't just go kicking people off your football team.
What
I know
if
we
he
have
would have hit somebody?
we have
What was
50
the difference?
50 people on the team, but you can't just go knocking people off, after one mistake. So I definitely think, some kind of. I don't know this guy's pass
Sure.
record.
That's
Maybe
true.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
his
yeah.
third strike.
I mean, we're using him as a generality. We're using him as an ideal. We're using him
started the
as what
conversation.
happens if a student athlete gets in this kind of trouble. That's what we're saying.
We
We don't know this guy, and honestly, I hope the best for him. I hope he gets his stuff together.
I like to think all of us deserve a second chance. Surely this guy does as well. And Mike, I think you brought up a good point. I wouldn't even go as far as removing the scholarship. After
Right.
assuming this is the first incident, it's like, hey, you're screwed from a legal standpoint.
It's
this is gonna be on your record. You're gonna pay some fines. We're gonna let you keep your scholarship. We're gonna keep you on the team. We'll probably suspend you a few games. That is necessary. 3 games
Right.
in my mind is fair. But we're gonna give you a second chance. Obviously, if this happens again, and that's where I would draw my line, not 3 strikes. If something similar to this, especially if it's with the police, it's legal actions,
Yeah.
you're gone. Like,
Right.
it's time to go find a different game.
You send the message that you're on very thin ice. And it's like, I mean, imagine if somebody that's in a professional job is in a similar situation to this. They're working for a company.
You get DUI, you're fired. Your
Exactly,
professional
yeah.
job, you're out. There's
You're
not. We'll pay another $30,000 for you to finish school, and then you can play. You can be suspended a few games. You're out. You have to pay.
I wouldn't necessarily think that's the case in all situations. I think in a lot of situations.
Yeah,
it would
I
be.
mean.
It depends how valuable you are to the company.
But it is kids in
that-
school
right.
playing a game. I mean, I get it. I do get it. It's not a job. It's not a career. It's a different thing.
Well, that segment.
Went on longer.
Went
Yeah,
much
sorry.
longer than
I mean, I was
anticipated.
into it. I was into it.
Great conversation though, because what do you do? Because we see this in the NFL, we see this in college, and that's my point. Is like, dudes are gonna mess up. Even when they're pros in the NFL, you're talking about 25, 26, 27-year-old dudes. I'm gonna make mistakes at that age. Ideally, I would like a second chance.
I just truly, what was it? September 2015 was the first month, and I think it was like 9 years that there wasn't an arrest in the NFL. I mean, like, it's a trend in sports.
Really?
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and that's,
It's
the
a
league where
thing
you're
that
talking about,
happens.
like,
I mean, that's
domestic
all
violence,
nationally, all teams. I mean, that's every crime, but still,
Either
not
way.
one football player in the last month got arrested, which
Either
in
way.
the NFL, yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
Sure,
Wildcat Chats. I'm your host, Austin Nichols. We've got Money Mike in studio with us, co-hosting. Spent good 40 minutes talking about Oklahoma State, K-State last weekend. Okie State winning 36-34 on the road. This is Wildcat Chats. Follow us on Snapchat. Are we getting Snapchats out? We might have missed it this week. We'll get it next week. We're live on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or online, wildcatchats.com. But most important, do us a favor, check us out on iTunes. Subscribe. We'd love, we're not going to make the top charts tomorrow, anytime soon, but we'd love to have a shot. And the only way to honestly do that, we don't get analytics. We don't know who's listening on iTunes. So give us some feedback. Rate us. That's really the only way we have a shot at making charts. That's the only way we have an idea of who's interacting, who's listening to us. So jump on iTunes. And if you can do anything, just tell your friends, hey, I heard this podcast. Even if you only listen for 10 minutes, we'll try and make those 10 minutes as entertaining as possible.
Absolutely, and we're a team here on Wildcat
We are.
Chats, and you guys, audience, you are every bit as important to this team.
We literally on our show notes have emails, questions, comments. We got a poll question we'll get to here later. We want to hear from you. Help us out. This is your show. We're just providing the platform for it. Before we get into the game preview, we've got K-State TCU coming up Saturday, October 10th, 6 p.m. Bill Steiner Family Stadium. First, I want to take a break, and I'm so excited. Most people are not excited to talk about their sponsors. I today am, because it's honestly one of my favorites. And our sponsor of Wildcat Chats podcast today, episode 10, is Audible. And we did this for you, for the listeners of Wildcat Chats podcast. Audible is offering a free audiobook download. That's a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their services. There's really nothing better. All you have to do is listen to Wildcat Chats. I love Audible. The last book I listened to was Unbroken, the World War II story, the Olympic athlete. They turned it into a movie. Did you guys see the movie?
I did.
I did not. I wish I
Movie's
would have.
Movie's excellent. It does not do the book justice. And honestly, forget reading. That takes up a lot of time. Just listen to the audiobook. I personally drive around a lot.
Yeah, in my car every day.
I think I made like an 8-hour trip. I was going to Ozarks or something home, and we listened. To be honest with you, we got into the driveway and spent like the next hour sitting in the car trying to finish the book. It was that good. Audiobook has Unbroken. That's a World War II story with, I think the author's Laura Hillenbrand. Excellent book, but the platform Audible is great. And you can download not only a free 30-day trial, but also a free audiobook. All you have to do to download your free audiobook is go to Audible Trial. That's audibletrial.com/Wildcat Chats. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Wildcat Chats for your free audiobook. Let our sponsor Audible know that you are listening and you enjoy Wildcat Chats. If you listen to this podcast on the road, you can definitely plug in an audiobook after. I recommend Unbroken. That's audibletrial.com/Wildcat Chats. This is Wildcat Chats. I'm your host, Austin Nichols. We got Money Mike in the studio. Also, big thanks to our producer, Michael Pagels, running our social media, making sure our video feeds go through, and giving us his perspective. Because quite honestly, this guy knows nothing about sports.
We're like high school
he
level.
He just has a huge beard. That's why we.
And he knows a lot about the news too.
Oh yeah.
He corrects our facts when we make.
Notice he chimes in on the legal side.
That's what I'm paying attention to.
Here's the news.
He qualifies our crazy statements.
There is a bigger picture, and we all fit in it, right?
Yes, and we just have to tell him to shut up. All right, so what else do we got in store for you? We've wrapped up K-State, Oklahoma State. We've spent a lot of time talking about that. Let's jump into the next game. That's K-State TCU, Saturday, October 10th at 6 p.m. Bill Steiner Family Stadium. This one's at home. Game 2 of what was a 5-game Big 12 gauntlet, now a 6-game. We lost to Oklahoma State to start that run. We've got TCU at home. The next game is Oklahoma at home. That's homecoming week. Then Texas on the road, Baylor at home for a Thursday night game. That's going to be a lot of fun. And the new one, Game 6, Texas Tech on the road. So we're going to see what happens in that stretch. Before we jump into that, I'm going to actually backtrack. Let's go ahead and look at last week in the Big 12. This will help us set up what we're looking at in this gauntlet. OU beat West Virginia 44-24. That was 2 games of ranked teams. West Virginia, I think, was 23rd, 24th in that. TCU went to town on Texas. TCU had 50 points. I didn't even write down Texas' score in my
I think
notes
that's 7.
because it's irrelevant.
It was garbage time.
Iowa State 38-13 in Ames. Baylor 63-35. That was neutral Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium. The over-under on that was like 89.5, and they it ended up being 63-35. And that's actually been the prime focal point for all the talk of Big 12 has no defense, which I agree. That's true. There's no defense in the Big 12 this year. K-State probably make the biggest What do you think?
The best defense in the Big 12?
I'm not necessarily saying the best defense, but it's like shit. Tech
there's
giving up
not
63 points. It's ridiculous. TCU scored. Great. Texas isn't a good team, but upcoming. Were you gonna say something, Mike?
I was just going to say that there's just the offenses in this league are kind of ridiculous, but the defenses are very, very average. So
That's true.
That kind of skews us towards an offensive league, but I mean,
well, Big 12 100% is the offensive league.
Right.
If you look at the other league, you look at even the Ohio State Indiana game, it was low scoring.
Right.
Two poor offenses, but the defense is play, and that's Ohio State's MO. Who knows what's going to happen with the offense, but that defense sure is damn good.
Right. And there's not a single team in the Big 12 that can rely on their defense to win games. And we were thinking K-State might kind of fit in that category earlier in the year, but
they still gave up 30.
Yeah, their defense is not going to win many games.
Well, we don't have Dr. Barnett. We'll get into injury updates. Before we jump into what we're kind of looking at for K-State TCU, it's going to be hard to predict anything because we don't even know who's going to be playing quarterback. We already told you who we want to play. Hashtag
Cook for
Heisman. Maybe we'll get some T-shirts going so all you guys can get those because I know everyone's excited about it.
I got Cook for Heisman and Cook for QB both on Twitter right now.
Nice, there we go.
Let's get some Cook for Heisman.
Cook for Heisman.
Let's get all kinds of Cook for Heisman merch. Let's get some koozies going.
Everything. Before we jump in, Wildcat Chats, listen to us on iTunes. We got K-State TCU coming up on Saturday. Let's look at the rest of the Big 12. KU Baylor 11 a.m. in Lawrence.
Tell me that's not going to be televised. That can't be suitable for children.
Over under 250 fans in the stands. 250 people.
It's never much of a
I would say over because Baylor will have a few bandwagon fans.
Texas, Oklahoma, 11 a.m. Cotton Bowl. That's a Red River Shootout. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, Red River Shootout. I've got a buddy, if he's listening, huge OU fan. He'll probably text me here in a little bit and let me know. Texas Tech, Iowa State. That's in Lubbock at 2:30. I think I got Tech in that one.
Are we going to pick these games?
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
KU, Baylor. Baylor,
of course.
Texas, OU. Tech, Iowa State. Tech. West Virginia, Oklahoma State. Tough one. I'm going to say Oklahoma State. I have not watched much of West Virginia, though, so I'm really not in a position to say. So for me, that's going to be a very intriguing matchup. It is in West Virginia, Morgantown. So that might play a factor. And I don't know, what is Oklahoma State feeling after this roller coaster ride of a game at home against K-State?
I think they'll be feeling fine. I think they'll go into Morgantown. I think West Virginia is a little overrated, especially coming off that loss to OU. I think Okie State will be able to handle them.
Solid. Cat's horned frogs. This thing that bugs the hell out of me. I'm like, what is that? At least
the horny.
I'm not even a big fan of the Wildcat.
Yeah, it's weird to me.
I don't get it.
Especially doing the purple haze.
But it's better. It's better than this. What is this?
Yeah.
What is that? A claw? I don't know.
No, I'm all for the lynch mob.
Lynch mob. Oh, I'm gonna lynch mob right now. If you see, if I'm ever at a game and the jumbotron comes on me, first off, I'm wasted. Second, I'm lynch mob.
You got to lynch mob. Yeah.
I remember what bowl game was it? Cats played Arkansas.
The Cotton.
I had this Arkansas fan. He bought some K-State fans ticket. Sat right in front of me. What's ironic is I didn't get in a fight with a guy, but I almost got in a fight with a K-State fan for how much shit I was talking to the guy. Dad, if you're listening, you were sitting right next to me. Mom was pissed at us. That was a lot of fun, though. I don't really remember it. This is all hearsay. Anyways, but the point of the story was I was lynch mobbing on this guy hard, even though we got our asses kicked. Go figure. There's going to be a podcast in the future where we're going to talk about the mediocrity of K-State football, inability to win the big games. That's conversation down the road. Right now, we love the Cats. What do you think is going to happen against TCU?
Oddly enough, I'm more confident going into this game.
I feel better too
than I would have been last week for the TCU matchup, and that's simply because seeing Cody Cook behind center, it was like watching a different team. And I think if that team is out, we might possibly in some, if the stars align perfectly and just all sorts of a blue moon rises or whatever, if all those things happen, then we might be able to have a 1% shot at hanging with TCU. Whereas if the team we've seen in the first 3 games of the year shows up, I don't think we have a prayer.
So what does that mean for
I'm
our
optimistic,
bowl
but
eligibility?
that's a great point.
You know, if Huebner is on the fence, man,
we are still very well bowl eligible.
I wouldn't.
3-1. We only need to win
Maybe
3 more games.
yeah.
We only need to win 3 more games. So we've got TCU, OU, Texas, Baylor, Tech, and then you play Iowa State, KU, West Virginia. I think we beat Iowa State, KU, West Virginia. That's 6 games, bowl eligible. Surely we can.
I wouldn't just give us West Virginia or
Tech.
Tech.
I do. December at home. The past 2 years we played West Virginia in December and beat them, and that game's at home.
I haven't seen enough to be confident of that yet.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
we can agree
We'll
that
see.
if we beat TCU, we are way better off right now.
Of course, if we beat the number 2 team in the country.
Because we're assuming Kansas is going to be a pushover, obviously.
See, that's the cool thing about playing the number 2 team in the country. You have nothing to lose, especially a team like K-State right now in a rebuilding year.
Which
really
is
not high expectations for the program, but you've got the number 2 team in the country coming to your place, a tough place to play. You can play a little spoiler.
Which is why we come out with Cook at quarterback, assuming he can play. You know. So,
to us, that's a no-brainer, and so I think most of the K-State fans, that's a no-brainer. But to Bill Snyder, in all his wisdom,
Infinite wisdom.